Well, originally I came from Iowa and did a lot of neighborhood skiing and different things there. And the family had always owned one kind of a business or another, be it a restaurant or a bowling alley, or we also had one of the largest ballrooms in the whole state. So I was used to being around family people who were business owners. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I decided to go to the University of Colorado. And unfortunately, it was not to be learn too much on much of anything other than I wanted to be on their ski team. And wound up being on the ski team for a short period of time and trained with the 1964 Olympic team. At that point, it was hard. At any rate, as things progressed, and I was a senior in business school, and I applied for a master's degree at a school out in California for business. But the draft board in Iowa didn't have enough people, and they were after me, and they were definitely going to draft me if I didn't do something about it. So I found out that if you could get into the Air Force, you could get your choice of assignments and where you went based on how well you did in the class. I was able to get in the Air Force and became a second lieutenant. That's as a result of the 90-day wonder school. So you go there for 90 days and you come out, if you have a college degree, you come out as an officer. And from there I went to aviation training and flew the little Cessna, and along with the T-37, which was also a Cessna, but it was a twin-engine jet. And then a T-38, which was a supersonic twin-engine jet with afterburners, and really had a good time with that. So I was based in Wiesbaden, Germany, and had a good time there, learning the language, and our first child was born over there, and eventually I received an 8-month early out, and we came back to the States and settled in the South Denver area, actually, but we had a couple acres and a house over in that area. And I had a really hard time finding a job. And I was flying recip, which is propeller-driven airplanes, and the airlines didn't want to talk to me because I was not currently flying a jet. And so I looked for other jobs. I worked in a steel plant for a little while, and then thought, well, I can probably make more money selling cars. So that's what I did for a while, sell cars. And I met a man who was executive director of IPAMS, the Independent Petroleum Association in Denver. And that was my introduction to the oil and gas industry. And after a little while, he needed some help and wanted me to write a paper on oil and gas and so forth for a magazine, which I did. And so he hired me on full-time there. In the meantime, I knew that wasn't going to last. And there was somebody from Baker Gas Lift looking for people to get involved in plunger lift. And so I got in touch with that person, and we had some discussions, and I was interviewed, and so I went to work for Baker Gas Lift out of Houston, but I was going to be transferred to the Dallas area for sales work, which is what happened, and which worked out quite well. But after about a year and a half, they wanted to move me back to either Denver or go to New Orleans. So I came back to Denver and worked for about five and a half years. Shortly after I started working for the company, they sold the company to a group of investors, and it became Artificial Lift Systems, Inc., ALSI. As I watched how things were done, I kept thinking, I wanted my own business, and I thought, I think I can probably do this. So eventually I quit, turned in my car, and began Wellmaster Corporation.